if you're writing a regular romance, right? Not paranormal romance, but just a regular romance, then you probably would be able to get away with just the extent of the world building that you're going to do at the beginning is what city is this going to be set in? Kind of what does it look like? And where's my character located versus everyone else? Just very basics, right? But as you start writing that romance, maybe you're going to realize that your character, I don't know, maybe she recently moved there. So the culture of the place is different than hers. Maybe the language is different than what she speaks. Maybe like the history of the place somehow impacts her as a character, who's growing or whatnot. So all of those things can start adding in when you're going through your actual novel and you're writing it. But if you're very much going to write a genre where you have to have a very good world building, which is basically anything in the fantasy realm and sci-fi, you should definitely have a separate plotting section for that world building and write your draft just with the basic ideas in mind. But once you finish that first draft, you grab your notes about what your world is supposed to be and you go through every scene and you say, okay, am I showing the culture of this place here? Am I showing the how the people react? Am I showing if there's anything that impacts the history or whatnot? Like you did that, for example, with the afterlife calls. Like in the second book, you start seeing so much more of the town that they're in, and how more of the magic, like you learn more of the magic system and everything. I've done a similar thing with like with my Lost Royals of Transylvania series, right? Like with my vampires. Originally, when I started, I just knew these are going to be set in Transylvania. They're living in a castle. That's it. End the story, period. They're in the 21st century. And yes, there's going to be iPhones involved, but whatever. But when I started writing it, there were a lot of elements that started coming back up, from memory, also from having lived there. And there were things like, okay, well, the culture is different, like there's going to be aspects of like people that want to be more modern, people that want to stick to the old rules and the old way of living and whatnot. So there's going to be those little culture clashes throughout. And, that sort of started becoming a bigger thing throughout the series itself. And I learned to add to it, more. So when it comes to when you actually start doing it, you shouldn't write your book without having an idea of what your world is going to be. That's my bottom line. Doesn't mean that you have to get stuck in the nitty gritty details though. Okay. But just have a basic idea.